Welcome to this edition of the Lucid Quest Oncology Strategic Roundup, covering developments from July 2nd through August 7th, 2026. The defining story of this reporting period was the continued evolution of oncology toward precision-driven treatment pathways, earlier intervention, and stronger integration between therapeutics and diagnostics. Across bladder cancer, breast cancer, targeted oncology, and emerging cellular therapies, companies are increasingly competing beyond clinical efficacy alone. The ability to establish therapies earlier in the treatment journey, identify the right patients through molecular testing, and build scalable platforms is becoming central to long-term competitive differentiation. 5 themes stood out. The first theme was the continued shift toward earlier-line oncology treatment. Astellas regulatory progress for Padcev plus Keytruda in muscle-invasive bladder cancer highlights the growing importance of moving effective combinations into earlier disease settings. By targeting patients around the surgical treatment pathway, the combination has the potential to expand beyond advanced disease and influence future treatment sequencing. A similar strategy is emerging in breast cancer. Gilead's progress with Trodelvy plus Keytruda in first-line metastatic triple-negative breast cancer reinforces the competitive importance of antibody-drug conjugates moving into earlier treatment positions. The strategic implication is significant. Companies that establish therapies earlier may have greater influence over standards of care, physician familiarity, and future treatment pathways. However, earlier line success will depend on durability of benefit, safety, reimbursement, and how clinicians balance new combinations against established approaches. Long-term survival data and real-world sequencing will determine whether regulatory momentum translates into sustained leadership. The second theme was the growing importance of precision oncology infrastructure. The collaboration between SOPHiA GENETICS and AstraZeneca Oncology reflects a broader industry shift. Precision oncology is moving beyond biomarker discovery toward building the systems required to deliver targeted therapies at scale. As molecularly defined treatments expand, patient identification becomes a critical commercial challenge. Diagnostic access, testing speed, and integration into clinical workflows may determine whether eligible patients actually receive innovative therapies. For oncology companies, companion diagnostics are becoming more than a regulatory requirement. They are evolving into strategic capabilities that connect drug development, patient selection, and real-world evidence generation. The key uncertainty is execution. The success of decentralized testing models will depend on reimbursement, laboratory adoption, data integration, and physician confidence across different healthcare systems. The third theme was continued expansion of targeted therapies into molecularly defined populations. The launch of Hizexin for PIK3CA-mutated ovarian clear cell carcinoma and NCCN guideline inclusion of Revtorpic in HR-positive, HER2-negative advanced breast cancer highlight how companies are increasingly pursuing biologically defined patient groups with significant unmet need. These approaches demonstrate the continued evolution of precision oncology, from broad cancer categories toward therapies designed around specific molecular drivers. However, smaller patient populations create commercial challenges. Success will depend on efficient patient identification, clear treatment positioning, and the ability to demonstrate meaningful differentiation within increasingly complex treatment algorithms. The fourth theme was the continued development of next-generation immune therapies. IN8bio's publication of Phase 1 clinical data for its gamma-delta T-cell platform in newly diagnosed glioblastoma highlights ongoing efforts to develop alternatives to established cellular therapies. The strategic opportunity is substantial. Companies developing new immune platforms are attempting to address limitations of existing approaches, including challenges related to solid tumor penetration, persistence, and manufacturing complexity. However, early clinical signals must still translate into consistent benefit in larger studies. Scalability, treatment logistics, and competitive positioning will determine whether these approaches move from scientific innovation to commercial relevance. The fifth theme was the growing importance of regulatory and operational execution. This reporting period demonstrated that clinical innovation alone is insufficient. Manufacturing readiness, regulatory strategy, and launch execution can significantly influence commercial outcomes. Elevar Therapeutics' complete response letter for rivaroxaban plus camrelizumab illustrates how regulatory and manufacturing challenges can delay market entry, despite promising clinical data. In contrast, the tentative approval of a new cabozantinib formulation demonstrates how life cycle strategies can extend the value of established oncology assets. The broader implication is that oncology competition increasingly rewards companies that can combine scientific innovation with operational excellence. Looking ahead, we will be watching the final regulatory outcomes for Trodelvy plus Keytruda, the global expansion of Padcev plus Keytruda, adoption of precision diagnostic platforms, and the clinical maturation of emerging cellular therapies. The key takeaway is that oncology leadership is increasingly defined by the ability to connect innovation with execution. The companies best positioned for long-term success will be those that can identify the right patients, integrate diagnostics, establish earlier treatment roles, and navigate increasingly complex regulatory and commercial environments. Thank you for joining this edition of the LucidQuest Strategic Roundup. For more healthcare market intelligence and strategic analysis, visit www.lqventures.com.